Welcome to Slow Your Scroll. This is Hawaii News Now's segment highlighting local influencers and content creators. Today, we have a record-breaking Olympic and powerlifter, a gym owner, and a viral star. Not multiple people. This is all one person. I'm talking about Stacia Cambra from Nanakuli. Thank you for coming in today.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, so for those that don't know you, Stacia, I'll give them a quick breakdown of kind of your virality on social media. Some of your most watched videos are like you weightlifting, doing a snatch, which is lifting a barbell from the ground straight overhead, and you do it either in like roller skates or stilettos or like a dress in like a nightclub, but you do it that in like almost perfect form. And these videos have been like picked up by news outlets. I think we've aired it in the past, but also like on the mainland. So you're an incredible athlete altogether. Starting in that, how did you even get into one, weightlifting, but two, all these tricks?
Well, weightlifting first, I started in CrossFit in 2012. I started doing CrossFit and then did my first powerlifting meet with Stacia Cambra in 2013. And actually, the one-handed snatch, the first day I walked into his gym, that's what he was doing. He was doing one-handed snatches for his work that day, and that's like the first thing that I seen. And I was like, I want to do that.
Yeah.
So that was in 2013 or whatever. So that's how that happened.
And how long did it take for you to actually do the one-handed snatch? When you walked in, you saw him doing that.
I don't think I tried it for a while. Maybe like a year. I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, so again, for those that aren't into weightlifting or anything, the snatch is probably one of the most technical movements, if not the most technical movement. So you need to have your form down, but to do it one-handed is incredible. I think people, but their natural question is like, have you gotten hurt doing any of these kind of crazy stunts ever? No.
I have not. Knock wood. I have not gotten hurt. Everything that I do, like all the tricks that I do, I master the skill first. Like I can snatch 160 pounds. Mm-hmm. Having 47 pounds on a bar one-handed is nothing for me.
Yeah.
It's literally just, it feels like nothing.
Yeah.
So like I master the main movements first before I try going on roller skates and doing tricks with them.
And how do you come up with the idea like, oh, I think I'm going to do it on roller skates today, or I'm going to do it in stilettos? Like,
so every single New Year's we do New Year shenanigans. At 12 o'clock midnight, we go in the gym and just do some crazy stuff. So we do one-handed snatches, we do stuff on rollerblades or ripsticks, we do knee jumps with snatches. I've done a knee jump in roller skates with a one-handed snatch. That one was really, or no, was it one-handed? No, it was two-handed snatch. But it was on roller skates, and I go from my knees and jump up and snatch the bar at the same time.
Yeah.
So,
would you say that's your hardest trick that you've ever done, or?
That one was pretty hard because of the roller skates.
So I've seen, I think that video, or maybe it was like take one or take two. And did you hit yourself?
Oh, I knocked my nose and my lip on that one. I went up and the bar hit here and I went down. So, but that's like the extent of my getting hurt, I guess.
So after that, do you rethink it? Or are you ever like, oh, maybe I won't do that again?
Oh no, I just keep trying till I get it.
Yeah. So
yeah, all the tricks, that's our New Year's like tradition. We do it every single year from 2000, I don't know what it was, but we've done it for the past like 5 years for sure.
And so your gym that you're at is 50 barbell, right?
Yes.
And that's out in?
Kulia'o, Hawaii, in Hawaii High.
And so you got started there, you said 2012 or
2013.
You're obviously an incredible athlete. Were you always doing athletic things like as you were a child, like before high school and stuff? Like how did you fall into like just being kind of good at all these random athletic feats?
I was always the smallest. Like I was always the smallest in anything that I did. So I always had to work twice as hard as everybody. So growing up, I had to do 100 push-ups, 100 squats, 100 sit-ups every single night. I've done P90X, I've done Insanity, I've done the Asylum Insanity, I've done all kinds of working out. I've worked out my entire life since I can remember. My dad used to make me run laps around the park all day. And then when I started high school in 2012, I started doing CrossFit, and then that's what brought me into lifting and introduced me to powerlifting. But I've always done athletic stuff. I wrestled. I've done boxing classes. I haven't boxed, and yeah, I've done track, cross country.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen videos of you like sprinting down the roads that looks like a breakneck speed. What would you say your favorite sport is of everything you've done? Is it powerlifting? Is it Olympic lifting? Is it softball going back in the day? Or
oh, that's hard.
Yeah, what is your favorite?
Softball's my first love as a sport. Like that's my first love. I'd say second would be powerlifting. I love powerlifting. I love doing it. I love competing. It's very fun. So.
And looking at some of your numbers, I don't know how recent these are. I kind of looked them up. You can tell me if they're up to date. We see that you have a back squat of 292 pounds. Is that still up to date? That's your personal record. Bench at 214.
Yeah.
But I thought I read no pause was 225 at one point.
I've done a no pause down in the gym. That was like 230 or whatever. But my competition bench is 214.
So these seem all accurate, and a 385 deadlift.
Yeah.
So you're normally.
That's all my raw numbers in competition. Those are like legit numbers.
And what weight class are you lifting at to give the viewers who are going to listen on a podcast an idea of how big you are? Because you're not the biggest.
I compete at 105.
So 105
and I've competed
pounds.
At 97 as well.
Deadlifting more than triple your weight. Benching double your weight.
Body weight.
Yeah.
I have a 2 times body weight bench.
That's an incredible feat. So I'm sure a lot of people, I mean, I get it a lot as a CrossFitter. They're saying it's very prone to injury, and you're always getting injured, or you're always on the shelf. Not from your stunts, but from any of your just general weightlifting. Have you ever experienced any injuries?
Our program at 50 Barbell is created for injury prevention, and the side effect is strength. So we first and foremost look into what is healthiest for the body, for everybody's everyday living. So that's like our main focus. And so in 12-ish years the gym's been open, we've not had any injuries in our gym. Not one athlete that we've trained has gotten injured in the gym or even like in their sports. That's
incredible. I mean, it's a feat. I mean, I can say, yes, I've been injured over the years, but nothing serious that's, kept me out or changed,
I've been powerlifting for 10 years and I've never been, knock wood, I've never been hurt.
I'm looking at your whole gambit of athletic feats. You're not just a power lifter, but you do kind of these gymnastic things where you go up on these just poles and sticks, and you do a handstand, or you do push-ups on like two very skinny.
They're nails.
I don't know what you would call them.
Screws. I think they're screws.
But
he made them.
Were you in gymnastics at all as a kid?
I wanted to be, but I've never, I guess, had time, or my parents never took me to gymnastics. I've always wanted to do gymnastics, so growing up, I taught myself how to do a cartwheel and handstand walk, all on my own. And then as I got older, we actually trained cheerleaders. We trained the Sacred Heart cheerleaders. They were the ILH state champions in 2016 or 17, I think. We trained them, and I was like, I asked the coach if she can spot me on a backflip. So, because I could always do it on a trampoline. I never tried to do it on hard ground. I could do it in sand, but never on hard ground. And so she spotted me, and I basically did it by myself. And then after she spotted me, I just kept going and just kept practicing and flipping, and then trying to learn new stuff, like a round off into a backflip. And recently I just learned how to like go into a squat position and then backflip from the ground. So
backflip straight from.
So you go into like on your toes, like in a squat position.
Yeah.
And then you just backflip from there.
Jeez. Like, so strength and like just overall athleticism is like your main goal. What is your goal right now as far as being a competitive athlete?
I don't know, because that's a good question. Well, I am going to compete in a powerlifting meet, in a geared meet in April. So,
For those that don't know, what is a geared
oh,
meet?
geared powerlifting means that you wear like orange. Oh, mine's is orange. It's a squat suit, so it helps you lift more weight, but it only helps you lift more weight if you're in perfect position. Like if you're not in perfect position when you're using these suits, like a deadlift suit, a bench shirt, you put it on a bench, then you can get really hurt. Like if one thing is out of place, a lot of people have actually broke their arm benching in a bench shirt because just the shirt might not sit right. You have to know what you're doing in order to use gear.
Yeah.
So that's what geared lifting is. It
So,
helps you move more weight if you can keep your technique.
so for people that I think watch not knowing what they're seeing, like those benches and stuff, when they see the really big arch back, can you explain what that is? Because I'm sure there's a lot of people that critique that a lot, right?
Oh, yes. So actually, benching with an arch is the only safe place to bench for your shoulders and for your body. Your back is made to arch, and I don't know how to explain this. So being able to arch means that you have a good thoracic spine, which is what everybody needs to stand up straight. And if you can't arch, you're putting your shoulders at risk for injury while you bench. Like flat benching is horrible for you.
Yeah.
And benching with an arch also helps you use your whole body instead of just putting all the pressures on your shoulders. Use your legs, use your lats, use your shoulders, triceps. It turns it into a full body movement as well.
So,
And it's also the safest.
common misconception when people are saying like that doesn't count, like
Yeah.
does that
and
make
it's
you
funny
mad or
'cause-
anything?
No, it's just funny because people they say, "Oh, why are you arching? Why are you arching?" You know that there are contortionists in the world, right? And they bend their bodies in half.
And they're probably the most like
So-
limber and like probably the healthiest spines of
Right.
anybody because they can get it into that position.
Yeah, so I don't know. People just hate on the arch, I guess.
Speaking of haters, do you experience any like negative feedback online? You know, we've talked to other influencers and how they deal with, you know, people with negative comments. Like how do you deal with that? Because I'm sure it's not all nice things that you see in your feeds
no.
and whatnot.
It's mostly negative. Like a lot of it's negative, especially because I have a public account. Like I get so many. If you look at that one arm snatch video, everybody on there will say it's fake weights or it's fake video, or I get a lot of negative comments about my arch, the way I lift, because I lift correctly. I lift with my head up. Most people talk about neutral spine and stuff, so people will talk about that. There's so much that, I don't know. I get a lot of trash talk on my posts, and I
Yeah.
just ignore it mostly. I ignore it, I read some of it, and I laugh at it, and sometimes I'll engage more to educate the people if they're like making a comment, but they don't want education. They just keep going and keep saying negative stuff, mean stuff to me, so
They just want
they just
to
want
put
to be
their
negative.
hate out there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad you can ignore that and move past it and even take the high road and try to, like you said, educate them.
Yeah. I get negative comments every single day on my posts. Especially if one goes like viral-ish. It's mostly all negative comments. Like there's this one comment I just did on a box squat that it kind of like there's like 700,000 views on it or something, and there's like 700 comments saying that it's wrong.
So, getting away from the negativity, because we don't need all that in our life. Speaking of how your videos go viral or different posts, you know like what's gonna take off and why, or
I have no idea.
yeah.
I don't. It's random. I just post. My Instagram is actually in like chronological order from when I started my powerlifting journey back in 2000, when I restarted my powerlifting journey back in 2015. So it has like my first day of training all the way up to now. So it's literally just my journal of my training and what I do. I didn't set out to be an influencer or have a lot of followers. It's literally just my journal.
So how did you initially like go viral? Because right now I think you have 135,000 followers. Like,
Yeah.
what initially started just like bumping
The
up?
first thing that blew my account up was a powerlifting meet called Boss of Bosses. It was in 2015, and this meet had all the top powerlifters in the world from everywhere. America, from Russia, from...
Where was this?
It was in California.
Okay.
And it's an invite-only meet. You can only get invited to this meet. Dan Green and his wife Sparkle Green runs it. Dan Green is a well-known powerlifter. So I got into that meet, and I set 23 out of 24 available records for me. State records, national records, world records offered this federation, also setting 2 all-time world records. Meaning, so all-time world records means that nobody in my weight class has ever lifted a weight that I've lifted.
Oh.
So that day I had an amazing meet. All the top powerlifters were there. It was the biggest powerlifting meet then. And that took my account from maybe like 2,000 followers to 10K. And then I started just going out and powerlifting and competing. And then, yeah, my account just kept growing from there. I compete mostly in the mainland also.
Okay. And so it wasn't like those trick lifts that
No.
kind of blew you up. So
No, it was
that-
me competing.
Yeah. So
The trick lifts only blew up like 2 years ago.
wow.
But I've been doing them forever. But my account is 100% only because of my lifting.
Yeah.
Because that's all I post, and
Yeah.
that's all it is.
And with your lifting, are you turning that into like a form of a means of living? Like, because you're a gym owner, right? And I assume that's
so
your...
the gym is our means of living. So my
Right.
Instagram is, you could say it's advertisement for our gym, for our program, for what
Yeah.
we do. I'm a product of our programming and our whole system. So that's, yeah, the gym is how I make my way of life.
Okay, because I think a lot of people, when they see content creators, I don't know if you even consider yourself that.
Not really.
Yeah, but someone that's, I think, the definition, for me at least, of a content creator is someone that is daily putting things
Putting
out
content, yeah.
for their
Audience,
followers,
right.
right? Like, which I think you would fall into that category, right? So, falling into saying, okay, you're a content creator. When did you kind of make that transition to like, all right, like I'm going to make this a daily thing for myself, that I am going to put out something. It's not just going to be like, once a week or when a big event happens. It's, I'm going to actually do this daily so I can keep building followers. I can keep building just that audience.
So for me, it wasn't even about the followers at all. When I first started my Instagram, it was to track my lifting, keep track of it. It was a journal. It still is my journal. And I never, ever worried about where my followers were. Like, I still don't. That's very cool that a lot of people follow me, and it's awesome, and I love it. But I don't ever post things for my followers. Does that make sense? So I post things that I want to post.
Yeah.
Always.
It's still
Like,
just
if I
like a
work
personal journey for
it's-
you.
It's always what I want to post. If I work with companies, I'll tell them, hey, I don't do like sales posts, because my followers hate that. My followers follow me because they want to know me. They want to see me lift, and I guess. But so I don't try to sell them on Instagram. I post only what I want to post, Like, and if you like it and you want to follow me, then follow me. But if not, then not everybody's going to like my Instagram. That's fine. But I never post for for the followers. I don't.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess I kind of do now because I have to, because people ask questions and stuff. But yeah, my Instagram's for me, and I post what I want.
So I mean, you have kind of a wide range of things you'll post, from lifts to like tutorials of like, this is how I put on my grips, and these are my favorite grips. Do you choose, like, I'm assuming you choose those products based on what you're actually using, and you're not just like.
So any product that I put on, companies will send me products, and if I like them, I'll use them, and I'll show people how I use them, and I'll make. My videos are never staged. They're organic videos. Like, if I'm showing you how to put on my grips, I'm about to go work out. And I'm just filming it so that I can show you. And if you guys like it, because those grips really help my hands.
Yeah.
But like, if I like the product, I use it and I'll mention it. But I never post anything on my feed that is fake. Like, I won't say, oh, I like this cheeseburger from this place, but I don't actually like it.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
Speaking of food, just because I know going into a competition, it's always a big thing to like fuel up and keep things on you. But maybe for those that are just, they don't know about that, like what is your favorite go-to pre-competition meal?
Oh, I go to Outback
Outback Steakhouse.
and get a giant steak
And then
and probably some dessert.
and then what do you keep on hand on lift day?
Lay's potato chips, Pedialyte, and peanut butter and jelly sandwiches, and maybe some sour gummies or something.
And was it always like that, or what? Like
Always.
I feel like athletes they hone in on like their favorite thing, and I don't know.
Peanut butter and jelly sandwiches are my go-to for everything, always.
Yeah, but with your competitions, obviously you have to get down to specific weights, and I'm sure you're not just walking around at that weight, year round. How do you deal with the weight cutting? Like, what is your process?
Well, I kind of actually do walk around at my competition weight.
Oh.
When I was competing at 97, I would walk around at 101 to 103. And now I walk around at anywhere from 106 to 108, and I compete at 105.
Okay.
So I don't diet at all. I don't do anything. I don't cut carbs. We do something specific. Not everybody does this cut. Also, let me just say this. I don't recommend anybody doing weight cuts unless they have a professional that knows what they're doing, because it can be very dangerous. So nobody do what I'm saying.
Don't try this at home.
So
That should go with all your videos
we do
too.
more of a water cut. So I will water load 1 to 2 weeks out. Water loading meaning I'll drink a gallon to gallon and a half of water every single day.
Oh.
And it'll dehydrate me and flush me out. And the last meet that I did, I actually didn't have to cut anything. I ate right up into the meet. I actually ate the morning of steak and potatoes and weighed in at 104. So we do the water loading, and that, if I'm close, if I'm around 108, that'll take me right to 105, and I don't really have to do any weight cuts. When I had to cut to 97, we would use the step method by Dolce, Mike Dolce, the step method in the hot tub, or the sauna. Infrared saunas are the best. And we would do that the day before the comp. No, 2 days out, because it's weight cut and then weigh-in day and then competition day. So, because it's 24-hour weigh-ins. So, cut on, let's say, Thursday, and then I weigh in on Friday, and then compete on Saturday. So, my longest cut ever was 24 hours. Took forever.
But it's not that stereotypical kind of weight cut that you see maybe in the movies or you hear about, where people are putting on like trash bags and sitting in the saunas and
Sweats, yes.
Yeah.
I don't do trash bags. We also do the hot tub, so there's no suits or anything there.
Do you feel when you're doing the weight cutting like very fatigued or exhausted, or how does that impact you when you're actually trying to lift, when you're cutting that weight?
So we're really good at cutting weight and then being able to lift afterwards. A lot of people, it has to do with your refeed and what you do. So we have a specific protocol that we do after I weigh in. Like I'll eat Lay's potato chips and Pedialyte until dinner. When I'm cutting weight, I guess I get tired, yeah, but after weighing in and I eat and everything, I feel fine.
Okay. And then as far as the afterwards, after the competition's over, what is your go-to meal to celebrate?
Outback.
So you load up with Outback and then you celebrate with Outback.
Yeah, I don't know. I think so.
Awesome. All right. And the order
Been
is
a little bit
a
since I've
steak there?
competed. Yeah.
It's a regular steak.
It's usually prime rib.
There you go. Medium rare.
Medium rare with mashed potatoes and sometimes mac and cheese.
All right. Well, if you see Stacia at Outback, you know what to order her. what do you do for fun outside of the lifting, or is that like your true joy and you would do that
Lifting's
anyway?
my fun.
Yeah.
I love it. But I braid.
You braid.
I braid.
So I've seen
I like to braid.
so I've seen the videos of like the rainbow hair, the red hair. It is like elaborate. It is crazy. So, but I guess I'm naive to that realm of like the world. I don't braid my hair. So like, those are extensions you're putting in, or okay? And
So, yeah, so I braid them into the hair. So I like to braid, and then also what I like to do for fun, or I guess is fun, is go racing. I don't race. My husband races. He is the quickest Indian scout in the world.
what
So
what
we
is
go
that? Is that
racing on
motorcycles?
Big Island. It's a motorcycle.
Okay.
Yeah, so I like going to the track a lot.
Yeah. But
Yeah.
you're on the back. You're not. Are you? You're
No,
not
so
racing
when
yourself?
he goes racing, he has to go by himself. But I work on the bike and I help with everything on the bike. Like I can break the bike apart and everything. And before this, I knew nothing about motorcycles.
Yeah.
Ever. So he has the quickest Indian motorcycle in the world right now. It goes 980 in the quarter mile. So, when I'm not doing stuff, we do stuff for the bike and work on the bike. So, and we go racing. Racing's really fun.
And being, I don't know if you consider yourself like a viral star or like a celebrity presence, at least in Hawaii. Do you ever get recognized in public?
You know, I don't get recognized here. Actually, a lot of my followers are from the mainland. So I've done 46 powerlifting meets, and only, I think, 15 have been here.
Okay.
So majority of my meets are from the mainland. A lot of people know me in the States. Like, our gym is very well known in the States, and we're actually really not known here.
Really?
Like, at all.
Well, so from the videos, again, for the people that haven't seen them yet, the gym is what looks like out of like a garage. I don't know.
It's outdoors, out of our home, yeah.
Yeah, so I don't know. I've never been there, so I don't know how to describe it other than what I see in the videos. But it's not.
It's an outdoor
It's
gym.
not fancy. It's pretty down to earth. The weights are kind of
It's like
old.
a local gym.
Yeah. But it shows that you don't need like
Fancy
all the
equipment?
fancy
No.
equipment, all these machines. Like obviously you're
Nope.
like an extremely fit person, if not one of the most fit people in the state, and you've broken world records, and you've done it all with, kind of frugal.
Yeah, everybody always like, your guys' bars don't spin, or your weights are rusty, and we're like, well, it's weight. Weight is weight.
And so for those that don't know, like, when you say the bars don't spin, so when you're doing the Olympic lifts,
Okay, so when an Olympic bar, or even just a regular deadlift bar, the bar, if you hit it in the middle, it'll spin. It'll rotate, the collars will rotate, everything will spin. Our bars, because we have an outdoor gym, our bars are rusty, so they don't spin, the collars don't move. It actually makes it harder to lift, because instead of the collars spinning so that you can maybe catch your snatch,
yeah, and it
the
rotates
whole
for
bar
your wrist,
spins.
right?
The whole bar spins.
Yeah.
So when you go into competition, it actually makes it way easier.
I was gonna say it. Like you practice kind of in the worst conditions, and then when you get to the competition stage and they give you the best equipment, all of a sudden
It makes it way easier.
I'm sure 225 on the rusty bar maybe feels like 215 on the spinny bar.
Yeah.
So, what is your favorite lift whether it's powerlifting or Olympic lifting?
Oh, both?
Of anything.
I don't know. That's a hard one. I like snatching. I like snatching a lot. Out of the power lifts, I would say deadlift or bench.
Do you have a most memorable lift that you've done? And I'm not just talking like trick lifts, or I'm talking about like in competition, or maybe it wasn't even in competition. It was at your guys' gym.
I think the most memorable lift would be in competition. Would be that same meet that I said blew me up at Boss Barbell. That was, I put 330 at 97 pounds, and I got the highest total ever at 97 pounds and the highest deadlift ever. I was the first person to total over 700 at 97 and deadlift 330. I think that's like my most memorable.
Do do you know at the time when you're doing that like, okay, this is gonna be the record? They tell you after. Like,
they scream it on the speakers.
oh wow.
Yeah.
And
so
then,
it's,
so what's
it's a
that
huge
feeling?
thing.
What's that feeling like when you lift it, drop it, and then they say, that was just a world record?
I don't know. I mean, I guess I'm happy, but I don't know. I don't really lift with emotion. Like, I don't celebrate really big like people do.
Mm.
So.
And where do you think that comes from?
I'm just like,
humble.
Okay, next.
Very humble.
Yeah, I don't like to talk about myself.
Well, this must be a very
this
different. This is a very
hard.
different experience. So you're doing great so far. Yeah. So.
Wait. Going back on the most memorable lift. The other reason why I made it like the most memorable lift is because it was the last lift of the day.
Okay.
I was the last lifter of the day. So there's maybe like 500 people in there, maybe more, probably more. It was huge.
Do you feel the adrenaline
and
is better?
Everybody was standing up
okay.
on that lift, and I made it, and it was crazy.
How do you find the motivation to lift just daily? I think for a lot of our viewers, for me, it's almost like an addiction. Like, I feel bad if I don't go to the gym. Is that the same thing for you, or?
Yes. So lifting and training is my lifestyle. It's not even a thing that I do. It's not even something that I have to go do. It's something that I just do. Like, if I don't train, I go nuts. So I do have off days, but if I don't train for like a week, I'll go nuts.
Yeah. What is your
Training
schedule? What does your daily schedule look like?
So, well, Monday and Fridays are my off days, and then I train Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Saturday, Sundays.
Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Saturday, Sundays.
Yeah.
Jeez. And then you're full-time coaching, I imagine?
Yep. So we have athletes in the gym, and then we also coach athletes remotely around the States. So we've coached people all over the States, Australia, Canada.
How many people do you have, one physically at your gym, but then also combined remotely?
Oh, I don't know.
Don't know that.
No, I don't.
Like dozens, would you say?
Probably around 50 to 75 total.
So kind of two-part question would be, how do you separate your gym from another gym that says they offer weightlifting?
We're the best ever. Ever. One, we have no injuries. Ever. We've never had anybody get hurt in our gym. Two, I'm a 12-time all-time world record holder. That means 12 times I've lifted weights that nobody has ever lifted in my weight class. We've also had multiple other record holders, different sports and whatnot. We've coached St. Louis High School 3 years in a row to their 3 championships, 2017, 18, 19. We trained the O-line, and none of them ever got hurt. They all went to college. Every kid that we train goes to college. Before COVID, we had a 100% scholarship rate. So all of our kids went to college on a scholarship, and these are not kids that are the top recruits. These kids work their booties off for their scholarships. So, and yeah, we're the best. And anybody wants to challenge it can come and lift with me.
So, same question now. How do you separate yourself from other lifters online? How do you separate your page of being like a fitness influencer from other pages? How do you make yourself different?
I think I make myself different because I don't know. Because I'm real, and I post what I want, and I am proof that you can train and you can be healthy and you can be flexible and you can do all kinds of tricks, and it won't, like, lifting and stuff will not make you manly, or it won't make you stiff or immobile. The only time you get stiff and immobile when you're lifting is when you're training wrong. I am proof, our gym is proof, that there are other ways to lift that will keep you healthy, injury-free, and be able to do everything that you want to do. Like, the most important things is we help people be able to pick up their grandchildren. Or we have people come in to us who can barely walk around the block. The block is 450 meters. They can barely do that. They end up running 10-minute miles.
Oh.
So, we're the best at what we do.
What would you say your biggest accomplishment, not personally, but at the gym is? Like, what are you most proud of from your gym?
Like
you said, you have people that couldn't
Okay,
that
like
couldn't
our
walk, and
most-
now they walk do a 10-minute mile or something. Is that one of your proudest things, or is there something that you're even more proud of?
getting people who can barely walk or barely touch their toes and get on the ground is very rewarding. Getting kids to be able to go to colleges that they never thought they could go to, that's probably the biggest, I don't know how to say it, biggest accomplishment, I guess.
Satisfaction. Yeah.
Sending the kids to school, like sending them off strong and fast and
Do you have any notable
healthy.
names that have come out of your gym outside of you, obviously?
well, we trained everybody in St. Louis. Well, basically. Do you know Mitchell Quinn? He
Sorry.
was playing in high school. They called him Chicken Skin Quinn. He had a whole page in the paper and everything. We trained him. We also trained for a little bit Nate Herbig, he's a football player.
Sorry,
Do you not know football?
I'm not into the local football scene, unfortunately, but yeah.
Okay.
I'm sure
Nate
I'm
Herbig's
sure
at
the people
Eagles
that are
now.
listening that are will be like, "Oh wow, I didn't know."
Do you know anything about the Olympia?
Like the bodybuilding?
Yeah.
I mean,
So the lady who won second place this year and last year, we actually trained her for powerlifting.
wow. What's her name?
Angela Yale.
I mean, I'm just appreciative of any sort of, physical feats and athletics in any shape or form. I can definitely appreciate.
We have multiple black belts who we also train in the States.
For jiu-jitsu or okay. So
Yeah,
you guys
we train
are,
all kinds of
like,
we train
it's
everybody.
Football, bodybuilding,
Anything.
jiu-jitsu, you guys are all over the place.
Anything fitness.
Yeah. Where does the name 50 Barbell come from, your gym?
It's because we're the 50th state. It's also because of a dog named 50. If you look up 50 Super Dog, maybe you'll find him on Google. You probably will. But he had half his legs because he got shot by the cops. He got rehomed twice because he lost one family and then somebody else adopted him. And then he lost that family. And there's a picture of him standing up on his two legs and smiling. So Jack decided, like, he wanted the gym to be like the dog 50. Doesn't matter your limitations, doesn't matter what you go through, just live with what you got, work with what you got, and live your life and be happy. That dog was so happy, and he only had half his legs and went through all this trauma, and he was still a happy dog.
Speaking of names, your Instagram name is I Am Legend. What
Yes.
is that from the Will Smith movie
Yes.
or what?
Actually, yes.
Okay.
So
cool.
I was laying in bed and I was gonna make my Instagram account. I didn't know what to make it. And at the time we were watching I'm Legend. So, and the way it's spelled is just the way that it could be spelled for me to use the name, because I Am Legend was already taken. And the 01 is Jack's race number. So that's my Instagram.
Race?
Like for his motorcycle racing.
Oh, I see.
His number is 01.
Got it. And then, do you ever think about changing it, like to make it, or is it so recognizable now? Do people say like,
No,
oh, that's I Am Legend?
Everybody calls me I Am Legend in the States.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I won't change it, because that's just what it's been this whole time, and everybody's like, oh, you're cocky, you're calling yourself a legend. No, I was just watching I Am Legend, and I like the movies. So
Is that your favorite
that's
movie?
not my favorite, but I do like the movie a lot.
Okay. Well, we'll end with, I've tried to end each of my other interviews with like a top 3 or a bottom 3, but now that we're talking about favorite movies, I'll ask you to end this. What are your top 3 favorite movies?
I don't know. I like comedies. Bad Moms. Pitch Perfect. And oh wait, maybe I'm wrong. Can I have 4?
You can have 4 movies.
I like
you can have a
Draft
Mount
Day.
Rushmore.
I like Draft Day and I like Moneyball.
Moneyball, that's the one with
Brad
Brad
Pitt.
Pitt and Jonah Hill, right?
Yeah.
What is?
And then Draft Day is with Kevin Costner. If you haven't watched it, go watch it. It's really good.
All right. Well, the listeners heard it here first. We got Bad Moms, Draft Day, Moneyball,
and Pitch Perfect.
Pitch Perfect, and I Am Legend.
It's just Pitch Perfect's just a go-to movie. Like if I have nothing on and I don't know what to watch, I'll just put that on. Or Bad Moms.
Just good background white noise to fall asleep to if you don't have anything.
Fun, yeah.
Awesome. All right, well, Stacia, thank you so much for coming. I really appreciate it. It's been fun getting to know you. And we actually have, I don't know if we'll end up using it, we have a 106-pound kettlebell, so maybe we will mess around with that a bit. But for now, thank you for listening. And if you're watching on YouTube, slow your scroll, and we will be back hopefully next month. Again, Stacia, thank you for coming by.
Thank you for having me.
We will see you guys later. Download us wherever you get your podcasts. Have a good one. Thank you for listening to this episode of Slow Your Scroll. For more episodes like this, head to hawaiinewsnow.com/podcasts.